How's it going, you sexy beasts? We've been given the 7th update to Planetside 2 yesterday, and with it comes a huge list of welcome changes. There's a ton of weapon modifications listed, and they are far too many to name, so I'll just let you sift through the patch notes, linked in the description below if you are curious. This patch brings us the long-awaited Nanite Systems Revolvers, the amazing weapon statistics shown in loadouts and the depot, and the improved item and camouflage preview. Also, we've been given a slew of additional user interface additions, improved map layout, and the complete overhaul of facility captures. So, go ahead, sit back, relax, grab a drink, and enjoy the show. Starting off with the most prominent changes, we'll address the infantry updates and a couple of weapon changes. First up is the big buff we've been given to the battle rifles. These are the Warden for the new Conglomerate, the AMR-66 for the Terran Republic, and the Eidolon for the Vanu Sovereignty. These rifles have been given access to high-velocity ammunition, an overall reduction in both vertical and horizontal recoil, and reduced accuracy lost per shot. On the other hand though, we've been given a slightly longer reload speed and quicker damage drop-off rates. Overall, it's a buff, so we can rejoice. Next up are the grenades, and I'm sure we've all experienced having a perfect grenade arc, throwing it and the freaking thing just bounces off the wall next to us and usually kills us or a whole bunch of teammates. Thankfully, grenades have been changed to be thrown more reliably toward your crosshair. It'll take some time to adjust to this change, but it's welcome to my book. Engineer repair tool targeting will now act just like the medic's heal gun, which will stick to your target instead of losing the beam if any other player intersects your repair stream. Light assault jump jet audio volume has been increased, so it'll be easy to find those pesky wasps flying around your base. Anti-tank mines for the Fungineer have had their size increased immensely. So if you've ever fallen victim to a tank mine, just remember to keep an eye out for those enormous pizza boxes lying around. Finally, the Vanu have had their extraneous damage scaling removed, and their weapons will now fall off to a similar value, such as the other two factions. The extra damage scaling at range was to offset the lack of bullet drop for the faction, but I guess it was just deemed unnecessary and was removed. So, there's a big buff for the Vanu fighting at longer ranges. Just note, this does not apply to the Vanu semi-automatic sniper rifles. Vehicles didn't get a lot of love this patch, but the Mag Riders surely did. The strafe speeds and accelerations have been increased, changing maximum strafe speed from 15 km per hour up to 20. This change was put in to prevent Mag Riders stalling while strafing over small inclines. Next up is the reduced damage dealt to vehicles while flipped upside down. Previously, if the top of your vehicle even remotely touched the ground, you'd immediately explode and probably cry. I mean, that's what I did. Now if the top of your vehicle contacts the ground, only some damage will be dealt. This will hopefully keep your vehicle enough time to right itself back upward and continue on your path. Keep in mind that if your vehicle completely flips, the damage will still cause it to explode in a few seconds, so you won't have enough time to try and get somebody to flip it for you. Finally, the biggest and most welcome change in the bunch is the ability to toggle off the inverting of steering while going in reverse with any vehicle. This bugged me so much previously that you'd have to practically flip your controls while backing up in any of the vehicles. Now there's an option under gameplay to toggle the flipping of controls either on or off, if you're used to it, or if you're just tired of it. On to the user interface updates, and this one is the main meat of the patch. SOE has gone all out to revamp the loadout screens, maps, and everything else you can imagine. First off, we'll talk about the maps and how they've changed, as well as capture mechanics. Previously, the ability to capture a facility was based on how much territory you're holding adjacent to the facility you're attempting to capture. Now, everything is based on a population. Influence pie charts have been replaced with a population percentage showing how much of each faction is fighting for the facility. To reflect this change, you can now view both enemy and friendly activity on the map by hovering your cursor over each facility. Also, setting the map view to enemy activity will now show a gradient of red, with darker reds being more contested and blacks or lighter reds being less populated. The capturing of facilities and outposts, since having shifted away from influence capturing systems to a population-based ones, has had their capture timings changed too. Capturing a small outpost will take 4 minutes, capturing a large outpost will take 7 minutes, and capturing a large facility will take 10 minutes. None of these times can be altered by population or number of players on the point. With all these facility changes, we've been given a legend on the map to discern which icon means what. Also, ribbons have been applied to both defending and capturing of bases. Yay, more experience! Moving on to the loadout screen changes, I'm sure you can tell there's a lot of new stuff. First thing you'll notice if you're checking out the class's weapons are the fact that all weapons available to that class, whether you've unlocked them or not, are visible. The ones you've unlocked are the first listed, and the remaining you've yet to unlock will be grayed out with a red border and a button to unlock them. Also, both medals and ribbons you've earned for each weapon will be displayed on the weapon's icon for your convenience. We've been given the ability to quickly cycle between weapon, character, and vehicle camos as well. While you're in the loadout screen for either of the three, there will be a little box with an arrow beside it. Clicking the arrow will cycle through the available camo you have, instead of having to go a few steps deeper to choose which one you'd like. Currently equipped consumables will be able to be refilled by clicking the plus sign at the bottom right corner of their respective icons, making resupplying items a cinch. Lastly, the quick certification button has been implemented. If you're browsing a certain class or weapon and want to dump some more certs into it, there's a quick button that will send you directly to the certification list. Once again, removing unnecessary screens in between. If you've ever been curious as to how a certain type of camo will look on you or your weapons, then now there's a much more improved item preview section, which is now in full screen for the highest of the definitions. Now, the big change that I'm sure everyone is excited about, at least those that are into the more competitive scene for Planetside 2. The changing of statistic bars into actual numbers. If you've ever played Blacklight Retribution, you'll know how awesome it is to have all the weapon statistics at your fingertips without having to go to some outside party's data sheet. These stats will show you every single bit of information you could ask for. Going down the list, we're given the weapon class, how fast it fires, how much damage it deals at the different ranges, the velocity of the bullets, short and long reload speeds, magazine capacity and reserve amount, hip fire and aiming accuracies, how much the iron sights zoom in, the different types of fire modes, and even a graph showing the damage drop-off stages per distance. This is an absolutely awesome change, so now players will be more informed before making a purchase they might regret later on, or just to see how each weapon will handle compared to others. Last but certainly not least is the addition of the Nanite Systems heavy revolvers. These are two new pistols, both the Commissioner and the Underboss, feature very hard hitting rounds with a very low magazine capacity and long reload speeds. First up is the Underboss, which deals 375 damage per round, fires at 200 rounds per minute, and has a long reload speed of 2.5 seconds. Now for my personal favorite, the big ass hand cannon, the Commissioner. This beast deals 450 maximum damage, fires at a bit slower rate of 170 rounds per minute, and has a reload speed of 3 seconds. This beast blows the Rebel, the previously hardest hitting pistol, clear out of the water in terms of sheer damage. I can't express how in love with this pistol I am. We're finally given a very menacing sidearm, and it looks badass as well. The firing animation is typical for a revolver, with the hammer striking the firing pin in the rear of the weapon. Reload animations are also badass, where the cylinder is opened up in halves and is quick loaded depending on how much ammunition you fired. If you fired 3 shots or less, your character will reload the left half of the cylinder. If you fired more than 3 shots, you'll reload the entire cylinder. Overall, I can't express enough how awesome of a weapon this is. If you haven't picked up the Commissioner yet, you're missing out. I mean, just listen to this sexy beast. There you have it, you sexy beasts. Planetside 2's 7th game update, adding even more awesomeness with each patch. I don't think there was a single downside to this patch, and gameplay seems much more responsive now. It's hard to explain, but it seems like these past few days the game hasn't been very on point. But today I was getting hits that I was sure were hitting, and not dying around corners as much. So, how are you guys liking the patch so far? Have you tried out the new pistols yet? If not, what are you doing? Go try them right now! Let me know in the comments below if you're liking the new pistols, or if you think the latest NC helmets look rather stupid. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome day. I know I am. If you are, let me know in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a big ass thumbs up. If If you didn't, give it a thumbs down and let me know what I can improve on. Please, it helps a ton. If you guys want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and subscribe. It's free.